My dear child, there is something I need you to hear today, not just with your ears, but deep inside your heart, in that quiet place where no one else can reach. I want you to stop whatever you are doing right now. Just stop. Put down everything you are holding. Take a slow, deep breath and listen very carefully. Because what I am about to say to you is something your soul has been waiting to hear for a very long time. You have been running. You have been rushing. You have been carrying so many heavy things on your back, and your body is tired, your heart is heavy, and somewhere deep inside, you feel like you are completely lost. You wake up every morning with a long list of worries, and you go to bed at night with that same list still sitting on your chest, making it hard to breathe. You are exhausted, not just physically, but in your spirit, in the very deepest part of who you are. And I see you. I see every tear you have cried when no one else was watching. I see every night you stared at the ceiling and whispered, "Why is this so hard? Why is nothing working? Where are you, God? Can you even hear me?" I hear every single word. I have never missed one prayer, not one cry, not one quiet moment when your heart reached out to me. I am always here. I have always been here. And today, I am asking you to stop long enough to feel my presence wrapping around you like a warm blanket on the coldest night of your life. This is not just a message. This is a conversation between your Father and his beloved child. And I need you to stay with me through every single word, because I have so much to say to you today. Things that will change the way you see your life. Things that will lift the heavy weight off your shoulders. Things that will finally give your tired heart the rest it has been searching for. So take another deep breath, and let us begin. Every video on this channel is created with love, faith, and dedication to sharing God's Word. If these messages inspire and encourage you, you can support our mission through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for being part of this journey. My dear child, I want to start by talking about something you carry every single day, and it is one of the heaviest things a human heart can carry. I am talking about your past. I am talking about the mistakes you made last year, 5 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago. I am talking about the things you did that you are deeply ashamed of. The words you said that you cannot take back. The choices you made that hurt people you love. The moments where you fell completely apart and acted in ways that you are not proud of. You carry all of that with you everywhere you go. It sits on your shoulder like a heavy stone. And every time something good starts to happen in your life, that stone whispers to you, "You do not deserve this. Remember what you did. Remember who you really are. You are not worthy of goodness. You are not worthy of love. You are not worthy of blessings." And you believe that whisper. You believe it because you have heard it so many times that it sounds like the truth. But I need you to hear me very clearly right now. That whisper is a lie. It is one of the oldest and most dangerous lies that has ever been told. And I am here today to break its power over your life completely. When I forgave you, I did not just sort of forgive you. I did not forgive you halfway. I did not forgive you and then keep a secret list of your mistakes hidden somewhere to bring up later. When I forgave you, I threw every single one of your sins, every failure, every shameful moment, every dark secret. I threw them all into the very deepest part of the ocean. Gone. Completely gone. So deep that no one can ever pull them back up. Think about that for a moment. The ocean has places so deep that human beings have never even been able to explore them. Miles and miles of pitch black water, cold and silent and untouchable. That is where I put your past. Not on a shelf where I can see it every day. Not in a drawer I open sometimes when I am disappointed in you. I threw it into the deepest, most unreachable place that exists, and I walked away. And not only that, I want you to understand something even more beautiful. I removed your mistakes from you the same way the East is removed from the West. Think about this. If you start walking east, you will walk east forever. You will never reach a point where east becomes west. East and west never meet. They go in completely opposite directions for all of eternity. That is how far I have removed your sins from you. Not a little bit far. Not just across the room. An infinite, eternal, never-ending distance. And then, on top of all of that, I choose, every single morning, not to remember your sins anymore. I am the God who created every star in the sky and calls each one by name. I am the God who knows the number of hairs on your head. I know everything. And yet, when it comes to your forgiven sins, I choose complete and total amnesia. I remember them no more. So here is what I need you to do, my dear child. I need you to stop bringing them up. Stop dragging your past into your present. Stop rehearsing your failures in your mind at 2 in the morning. Stop letting the enemy use your old mistakes as a weapon to keep you small and afraid and ashamed. If the God of the entire universe, the one who sees everything and knows everything, has chosen to completely forget what you did, then you have absolutely no right to keep punishing yourself for it. You are not your worst moment. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not the broken version of yourself that fell apart in that dark season. You are my child. You are loved. You are forgiven. You are clean. And the life that is waiting for you has nothing to do with who you used to be. It only has to do with who you are right now, standing in my grace, washed completely clean, brand new. Drop the heavy stones of your past today, right now. Just let them fall. Feel the weight leave your shoulders. Feel how much lighter you are without them. That lightness, that freedom, that clean, open feeling in your chest, that is what I have always wanted for you. That is the life I designed you for. Not a life of dragging your past behind you like heavy chains, but a life of walking forward in freedom, in joy, in the fresh, clean air of my forgiveness. The past is dead. It is finished. It is over. And your new life, the beautiful, purposeful, joy-filled life I have planned for you, it is right here, right now, waiting for you to step into it. So step, walk forward, and never look back. Now, my dear child, let us talk about something else that steals so much of your peace. Let us talk about worry. Let us talk about that tight, uncomfortable feeling in your stomach when you do not know what is going to happen next. Let us talk about the way your mind races at night, running through every possible bad scenario, every terrible what if, every frightening possibility. What if I lose my job? What if the doctor's report comes back with terrible news? What if my child makes a choice that destroys their life? What if I run out of money before the month is over? What if I never find someone to love me? What if things never get better? What if this is just how life is going to be forever? These questions spin around and around in your mind like a washing machine that never stops. And the more they spin, the more anxious you become, until you are completely paralyzed, unable to move forward, unable to make decisions, unable to enjoy even one single moment of the good things that are right in front of you. You are so busy worrying about tomorrow that you are completely missing today. And I understand why you worry. I really do. You worry because you love the people in your life, and you do not want them to get hurt. You worry because the world feels unpredictable and dangerous and uncertain. You worry because you have been hurt before, and your heart remembers that pain, and it is desperately trying to protect you from ever feeling that way again. But here is what I need you to understand, my precious one. Worry is not protection. Worry does not prevent bad things from happening. Worry does not solve problems. Worry does not make tomorrow safer. All worry does is rob you of your peace today, while doing absolutely nothing about tomorrow. It is like trying to pay a bill that has not even arrived yet, using money you do not have for a problem that might never happen. It is exhausting and it accomplishes nothing. And more than that, I need you to see what worry is really saying underneath all its noise. Worry is saying, I do not trust God. I do not believe He is big enough, or good enough, or attentive enough to handle my life. I have to figure this out myself. I have to stay on guard. I have to control everything, because if I let go, everything will fall apart. That is what anxiety sounds like when you translate it all the way down to its root. It is a statement of unbelief. And I am not saying that to shame you, my dear child. I am saying it so you can see it clearly, because you cannot deal with something you cannot see. And once you see it, you can bring it to me and let me heal it. I taught you to pray a very simple prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. Not give us this year's bread all at once. Not give us the next 5 years of provision right now. Just today. Just this one day. One sunrise at a time. One morning at a time. One moment at a time. I am not a God who promises to show you the entire staircase before you take the first step. I am a God who lights up one step at a time, just enough for you to take the next one. And I do this not to frustrate you, but to keep you close to me. Because if I showed you everything at once, you would not need to hold my hand. You would take all the information and run off on your own. And I do not want that for you. I want you walking closely beside me, every single day, learning to trust my voice, learning to feel my hand guiding you. The burdens you are carrying right now, the weight of your children's future, the uncertainty about your finances, the fear about your health. I never asked you to carry those things. I never put that weight on your back. You picked it up yourself, trying to be strong enough, trying to be prepared enough, trying to control what is ultimately uncontrollable. And now you are exhausted under a load that was never yours to carry. So right now, in this moment, I want you to physically imagine yourself taking off a heavy backpack. It is full of all your worries, all your fears, all your what-ifs. Feel how heavy it is. Feel the way it has been pressing down on your shoulders and making you hunch over. And now, hand it to me. Just hand it over. I am right here, and my shoulders never get tired. I can carry everything you have been carrying, and I can carry it with ease. Because I am God, and nothing is too heavy for me. This is not asking you to be irresponsible. This is not asking you to stop thinking, or planning, or working hard. This is asking you to do those things without the crushing weight of terror attached to them. Work hard, but do not be terrified. Make plans, but hold them loosely. Do your part, and then trust me to do mine. That is the partnership I am inviting you into. And when you feel that familiar knot of anxiety starting to form in your stomach, the moment you feel the worry beginning to rise, I want you to stop everything, not later, not after you finish what you are doing. Right then, right in that moment, stop, take a breath, and bring that fear to me out loud. Name it. Say, God, I am afraid that this specific thing is going to happen, and I do not know what to do. Be honest with me. I can handle your honesty. I am not fragile. I am not going to be shocked or disappointed by the fact that you are afraid. Tell me exactly what terrifies you. And then, here is the important part. Leave it there. Do not pick it back up. Walk away from it. Breathe in the peace that I am offering you, because my peace is not just the absence of problems. My peace is a deep, solid, unshakable calm that exists right in the middle of the storm. It is a peace that makes absolutely no sense to the human mind, a peace that surpasses all understanding, and it is yours, available to you right now, completely free. The moment you choose to trust me, instead of trying to control everything yourself. You are not alone in this. You have never been alone in this. I have been with you in every single terrifying moment, and I have never let you fall further than I could catch you. Look back at your life for just a moment. Think about the things you were most afraid of 5 years ago. Think about the worst-case scenarios you imagined back then. Did they happen? And even the hard things that did happen, did I not bring you through them? Are you not still here, still standing, still breathing, still alive? I have carried you every step of the way, and I am not going to stop now. Trust me, my dear child. Not because everything is going to be easy. Not because there will not be hard days ahead. But because I am good, and I am powerful. And I love you more than you can possibly understand. And I will never, ever leave your side. If you are finding this message speaking directly to your heart, I want to gently pause and ask you to do something. If this channel has been a place where you have found comfort, peace, or a closer connection with God, please take a moment right now to subscribe. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you never miss a message. Your support means that more people who are hurting, more people who are carrying heavy loads, can find their way to these words. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, my dear child, I want to talk to you about something that might surprise you. I want to talk about why I sometimes stop your progress. Why I sometimes put a wall in front of you right when you felt like you were finally moving forward. Why the door that seemed so right suddenly slammed shut. Why the opportunity you were counting on disappeared. Why the momentum you had built came to a sudden, frustrating, painful halt. You are confused. You are frustrated. You worked so hard. You did everything right, or at least you tried to. You prayed. You believed. You stepped out in faith. And then, nothing. A dead stop. And you are sitting there staring at a brick wall, asking me why. I want to explain something to you today. And I need you to hear it not just with your mind, but with your heart. Because this truth has the power to completely change the way you see every frustrating pause, every closed door, every season of waiting in your life. When I stop your progress, it is never because I forgot about you. It is never because I changed my mind about your future. It is never punishment. It is never abandonment. When I stop your progress, it is always because I am looking at something you cannot see, and what I am seeing concerns me deeply enough to halt everything until we deal with it. Imagine you are building a house. You are so excited about this house. You have drawn the plans. You have bought the materials. You are building fast, going higher and higher every single day. But I am watching the foundation. And I can see something you cannot see from up there on the scaffolding. I can see that the ground beneath you is soft and cracked. I can see that if you keep building higher without fixing the foundation, the entire beautiful structure you are working so hard to build is going to collapse. And when it falls from that height, it is going to crush everything beneath it, including you. So I stop the construction. Not because I do not love your house. Not because I do not want you to have it. But because I love you too much to let you build something beautiful on a foundation that will eventually destroy you. This is what I am doing in your life right now. I am checking the foundation. I am asking you some very important questions that only a season of stillness can make you honest enough to answer. What is your sense of security actually built on? Is it built on your bank account? Because bank accounts can disappear in a single economic crisis. Is it built on your reputation? Because reputations can be destroyed in a single conversation. Is it built on a relationship? Because even the most loving people are human, and humans are fragile. Is it built on your own abilities and talents? Because bodies get sick, and minds get tired, and even the most skilled person in the world has limits. If your peace depends on any of those things, then your foundation is made of sand. And sand looks perfectly fine when the weather is nice. You can build a beautiful house on sand in the summer, and it will look wonderful. But the moment the rain comes, the moment the floods rise, the moment the winds blow hard enough, a house built on sand does not just lean. It does not just crack. It collapses completely and violently, and everything inside it is destroyed. I do not want that for you. I refuse to let that happen to you. So I am stopping you here, in this frustrating pause, in this confusing season of stillness, and I am digging. I am digging past the surface of your life, past the accomplishments and the titles, and the relationships and the bank balance. I am digging all the way down until we hit solid rock, until we hit the only foundation that can truly hold everything I want to build in your life. And that rock is me. That rock is my word, my character, my love, my faithfulness. That is the only thing in all of creation that never shifts, never cracks, never fails, never changes, never disappoints, never runs out. When your entire life is built on that foundation, you are unbreakable. Not because bad things will not happen to you, but because when they do, you will not fall. The rain will come, the winds will blow, the floods will rise, but you will still be standing, because your house is built on something that cannot be moved. So embrace this pause, my dear child. I know it feels terrible. I know the frustration is real, and the confusion is real, and the pain of watching other people move forward while you feel stuck is real. But this season of being stopped is one of the most important gifts I will ever give you. It is the gift of a secure, unshakable foundation. It is the gift of a life that can survive any storm. Let me dig. Let me clear out the weak spots. Let me pour solid, permanent concrete into every crack. And then, when I say go again, when the green light finally comes, you will run with a confidence and a stability that you never had before. And nothing in this world will be able to knock you down. We are committed to spreading hope, faith, and the message of Jesus Christ to people around the world. If you would like to help us continue this work, please visit our Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Your kindness means more than words can express. My dear child, now I want to speak to you about something that keeps so many of my beloved children trapped in a cage of confusion and bitterness. I want to talk about your need to understand why. Why did this happen to me? Why did God allow this? Why did that person leave? Why did that dream die? Why is this taking so long? Why? You sit with the broken pieces of your life in your hands, turning them over and over, trying to find the pattern, trying to see how they fit together, trying to make sense of the mess. You believe, with all your heart, that if you could just understand the reason, if I would just sit down and explain my plan to you in detail, you could finally accept what happened and move on. You think that understanding equals peace. But my dear child, I need to tell you something gently and lovingly today. Your hunger for explanation, as understandable as it is actually keeping you locked in pain. Because the truth is, you are not going to get all the answers. Not right now. Maybe not ever on this side of eternity. And learning to live with that, learning to trust me even in the deep, uncomfortable silence of unanswered questions, that is one of the most profound forms of faith a human being can ever develop. Think about a tapestry, one of those beautiful, detailed woven pictures made from thousands of colored threads. When you look at the back of a tapestry, all you see is chaos. Loose threads hanging everywhere, colors that seem to clash, knots and tangles and sections that make no sense at all. It looks like a mess, like someone started a project and gave up halfway through, like nothing about it is beautiful or purposeful or planned. But when you walk around to the front, you see something completely different. You see a breathtaking picture, every thread exactly where it belongs, every color working together to create something stunning and perfect. What looked like chaos from the back was actually intricate beauty from the front. You, my dear child, are currently standing at the back of your tapestry. You are seeing the knots. You are seeing the loose threads. You are seeing the dark colors that do not seem to belong. And from where you are standing, it looks like a mess. It looks like nothing is going right. It looks like there is no plan. But I am standing at the front, and I can see the picture. I can see exactly how every single hard thing in your life, every painful season, every broken relationship, every closed door, every moment of confusion, I can see exactly how each one of those threads is being woven together into something so beautiful that when you finally see it from this side, your knees will buckle and you will weep with joy and wonder. I am asking you to trust the weaver, even when you cannot see the picture. I am asking you to trust my hands, even when you cannot understand my plan. This is not blind, naive trust. This is trust that is rooted in a track record. Look at your own history. Think about the things that felt most devastating at the time. The rejection that sent you in a completely different direction. The relationship that ended and broke your heart. The job you did not get. Think about how some of those things, the ones that hurt the most, eventually opened doors to something you never could have found otherwise. I have always been working. Even in the silence. Even in the dark. Even in the seasons when I felt completely absent. I have never stopped working on your behalf, and I am not going to start now. So stop demanding an explanation before you take the next step. I am not asking you to pretend you are not confused. I am not asking you to fake a smile and act like everything makes sense. I am asking you to be honest about your confusion, to bring it to me, to sit with it in my presence, and then to take the next step anyway. Not because you understand, but because you trust me. That is what faith looks like in real life. It is not faith when everything is clear and easy. Real faith is taking a step in the dark, holding my hand, knowing you cannot see the floor, but trusting that I will not let you fall. Real faith is saying, God, I do not understand this at all. I do not like it. It hurts, but I trust you anyway. That simple declaration, offered from a confused, hurting heart, is more powerful than 1,000 perfectly polished prayers offered in comfortable certainty. Give up the exhausting battle of trying to figure everything out. Rest your weary mind. Stop wrestling with questions that are too big for the human heart to hold right now. Lean your head on my shoulder and let me carry the weight of the mystery. I promise you this, one day, everything will make sense. Every question will have its answer. Every painful thread will reveal its beautiful purpose. And on that day, you will look back at your life and you will say, he knew exactly what he was doing every single step of the way. Until that day, walk with me in the dark. I am the light in your darkness, and I am enough. My dear child, I need to talk to you about your eyes. Not the physical eyes in your head, but the eyes of your heart, the way you see the world, the things you have been focusing on, the things you have been chasing, and the things you have been completely missing in your rush to get somewhere else. You have been running so fast for so long, and when you run that fast, everything blurs. The world becomes a rushing smear of colors and sounds, and you cannot make out any of the details. You are so focused on where you are trying to get to that you cannot see where you actually are. You are so busy chasing the next thing, the next goal, the next achievement, the next level, that you are completely blind to the beauty and the need and the love that surrounds you right now, in this moment, today. You missed the way your child looked at you this morning when they needed you to really see them. Not just a glance while you checked your phone. Not a distracted nod while your mind was already on the meeting you were racing toward. They needed you to stop, look them in the eye, and truly be present with them. And you were not there. Not really. You missed the sunset last Tuesday, the one that painted the sky in colors so vivid and so magnificent that if you had looked up from your screen for just 60 seconds, it would have taken your breath away. You missed it because your head was down, your thumbs were scrolling, and your mind was somewhere it was not supposed to be. You missed the friend who tried to tell you they were not okay. They said it casually, in passing, disguised as a joke, the way hurting people often do. They were hoping you would notice the pain underneath the words. They were hoping you would stop and ask the real question. But you were too busy, too distracted, too caught up in your own world to hear what they were really saying. And the worst part, the part that breaks my heart, is that you have missed me. All those quiet moments I tried to speak to you, the gentle nudge in your spirit, the soft thought that rose up during a quiet moment, the peace that tried to settle over you during a walk outside. I was there in all of those moments, and you were too busy to notice. I am stopping you now to wash your eyes clean. I am asking you to let me remove the thick, cloudy film of business and distraction and worldly ambition that has settled over your vision. I want to give you back the ability to see what is real, to see what matters, to see what is beautiful, to see what needs your attention and your love right now, today, not after you finish your project, not after you hit your goal, not someday when things slow down, but now. Because here is the truth, my dear child. Things are not going to slow down on their own. The to-do list is never going to be fully done. The inbox is never going to be completely empty. There will always be another thing demanding your attention. Another goal pulling at your ambition. Another distraction designed to steal one more hour of your life. If you wait for life to slow down before you start truly living, you will wait forever. You have to choose to stop. You have to choose to look up. You have to choose to be present in your own life. And that choice has to be made every single day, sometimes every single hour. It is not a one-time decision. It is a lifestyle of intentional presence, of deliberately turning away from the noise to pay attention to what is actually in front of you. I want to recalibrate your compass today. The direction you have been chasing was set by the world, by culture, by comparison, by a definition of success that was written by people who do not know you and do not love you. The path I have for you looks different from that. It is quieter. It is slower in some ways. It is richer in ways that cannot be measured by numbers. When you fix your eyes on me, when you truly stop and look at my face, something remarkable happens to everything else. The things that were terrifying you begin to look smaller. The giants in your life shrink down to their proper size. The problems that felt impossible begin to reveal their solutions. The path that seemed completely obscured becomes visible, one step at a time. Look at me today. Not at your phone, not at your bank account, not at what other people are doing with their lives. Look at me, and let me show you the beautiful, specific, deeply personal path I have laid out just for you. It is there. It has always been there. You just need to be still long enough to see it. My dear child, I want to talk to you now about closed doors. About the places you tried to get into and could not. About the opportunities that were handed to someone else. About the relationships you fought to keep that ended anyway. About the dreams you worked toward with everything you had, only to watch them fall apart in your hands. You stood at that door, and you knocked. You knocked politely at first, then you knocked harder, then you pounded with both fists until your knuckles bled. You begged. You pleaded. You bargained. You told me all the reasons why you needed to get through that particular door. You made promises. You cried. And the door stayed shut. And now you are standing there in the hallway, heartbroken and confused, asking me if I even care about you at all. If I love you, why would I keep you out of the very room that seemed so perfect for you. If I have good plans for you, why would I take away the thing you wanted most? My dear child, I need you to hear this with every part of your heart. My no is not the opposite of my love. My no is an expression of my love. It is one of the most loving things I ever say to you, even though it never, ever feels that way in the moment. I can see through that door. You cannot. You see what you imagine the room to be. You see the version of that opportunity that existed in your hopes and your dreams. But I see what is actually on the other side. I see the full picture. I see the hidden cost. I see the compromise you would have had to make to stay in that room. I see the slow, quiet way it would have drained your joy and dimmed your light. I see the ceiling in that room, how low it is, how it would have kept you small when I have plans to take you so much higher. You thanked me once for the prayer I answered with a yes. You celebrated when the door opened. But you have never thanked me for the doors I kept closed. And today, I want to invite you into a radical, countercultural, deeply freeing practice. I want to invite you to thank me for every door that did not open for you. Thank me for the job you did not get, the one that would have consumed your health and stolen your family. Thank me for the relationship that ended, the one that was slowly making you smaller and quieter, and less of who you truly are. Thank me for the opportunity that fell through at the last minute, the one that had a hidden trap you could not have seen from where you were standing. I was protecting you. Every single time, I was protecting you. And not only was I protecting you from what was on the other side of that door, I was also redirecting you. Every time I close one door, I am turning you around, pointing you in a new direction and saying, not that way. This way. Come this way with me. The hallway feels dark and confusing when you are standing in it. But I am at the other end of that hallway, and I am holding a door that is perfect for you. A door that opens into a room that was built specifically with you in mind. But you will never find that door if you refuse to leave the one that did not open. You will stand in front of the closed door forever, mourning what could have been, replaying every moment, wondering what you did wrong. If only you had said this or done that differently. And all the while, the real door, the one I prepared for you, will be waiting just a little further down the hall. So wipe your tears, turn around, let the closed door be closed, and walk with me. I promise you, the door I have for you will open without force, without begging, without compromise, without you having to become someone you are not to get through it. It will open at exactly the right moment, and when it does, you will walk through it knowing with absolute certainty that this was what I had in mind for you all along. If this message is touching your heart today, if you feel God speaking to you through these words, please take a moment to like this video. It helps more people find these messages who need them desperately. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so now. Every subscription is a way of saying, I want more of this in my life. Thank you so much for being here, my dear child. Now I want to talk about something very important. Something that is quietly destroying the quality of your life from the inside out. I want to talk about what you are feeding yourself. Not food. I want to talk about what you are feeding your mind, your spirit, your attention, and your time. Look at an average day in your life. You wake up and the first thing you do is reach for your phone. Before you have even said good morning to yourself, before you have taken a single conscious breath, you are already consuming. Scrolling through news that fills you with anxiety, looking at other people's lives and feeling inadequate, watching videos that entertain you for 30 seconds and leave you feeling strangely empty, reading arguments between strangers that raise your blood pressure and do nothing for your soul. Then you move through your day, filling every empty moment with noise. Music in your earbuds while you cook, a podcast while you drive, a show while you eat. Content, constant content, pouring into your mind from every direction. A river that never stops, and you are drinking from it all day long. And then you wonder why you feel so restless. You wonder why, despite all this entertainment, all this stimulation, all this constant input, you still feel empty and vaguely unsatisfied and disconnected from something real. You wonder why your spirit feels weak when temptation comes. You wonder why it is so hard to be still, so hard to pray, so hard to hear my voice. My dear child, you cannot fill a spiritual hunger with earthly food. You cannot satisfy a deep, eternal thirst with shallow, temporary water. The emptiness you feel is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that your spirit is hungry for something that the world cannot give. It is hungry for me. It is hungry for truth. It is hungry for depth and meaning, and real connection, and a sense of purpose that goes beyond what you can achieve or accumulate or experience. But your appetite has been hijacked because you have been filling yourself with so much cheap, empty content. Your appetite for real, nourishing spiritual food has been suppressed. It is like eating junk food all day and then having no room or desire for a real meal. The junk did not satisfy you, but it filled you up just enough to kill your hunger for something better. I am calling you today to a different kind of eating. I am calling you to begin feeding your spirit the way it was designed to be fed. Spend time in my word every day, not as a religious duty, not as a box to check on your spiritual to-do list, but as an act of genuine nourishment. Come to my word hungry. Come to it expecting to find something that will change you. Come to it like someone who has not eaten in days and is finally sitting down to a real warm, satisfying meal. And I am also calling you to fast. Not necessarily from food, though that can be powerful too. I am calling you to fast from some of the things that have been filling the space where I belong. Fast from endless scrolling for a day, and use that time to sit with me. Fast from entertainment for a week, and use those hours to pray, to read, to listen. Create space in your life for silence, for stillness, for the kind of deep, unhurried communion with me that your soul is starving for. I know this sounds difficult. I know the thought of sitting in silence makes you uncomfortable, because the silence is where all the things you have been avoiding come to the surface. The fears, the grief, the questions you do not have answers to, the emotions you have been numbing with business and noise. But those things need to come to the surface. They need to be brought into the light, because that is the only way I can heal them. Stop running from the silence and start running toward it. Stop filling every moment with noise, and let the quiet do its deep, necessary, healing work in you. When you finally learn to be still, when you finally create real, sustained space for my presence, you will discover that the emptiness you have been trying to fill with everything the world offers was always meant to be filled with me. And when I fill it, it stays full, not temporarily satisfied and hungry again in an hour. Truly, deeply, sustainably full in a way that changes everything. This ministry exists to bring encouragement, prayer, and God's truth to every heart that needs it. You can stand with us through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. May God bless you abundantly for your love and support. My dear child, I want to speak to you now about a particular kind of pain that is very quiet but very deep. It is the pain of comparison. It is the ache that comes from watching other people move forward while you feel stuck. From scrolling through someone's highlight reel and feeling that sharp, uncomfortable pang in your chest that you try to convince yourself is not envy, but it is. You see your friend getting promoted. You see your family member buying a beautiful new home. You see someone your age who seems to have figured everything out, who is married and successful and happy and thriving, and you are sitting in your paused, waiting, confusing season, feeling invisible and forgotten and left behind. And you look up at me and you say, "Why them? Why not me? Have you forgotten me? Do you love them more than you love me? What did I do wrong? Why are they getting green lights and I am stuck at red?" My dear child, I love you so deeply, and I need you to hear this truth very gently but very clearly. You are comparing your behind the scenes life to someone else's highlight reel. You are comparing your full, complicated, messy, real reality to a carefully curated, filtered, edited version of someone else's life. You do not see what they are carrying. You do not see the fear behind the smile in that photo. You do not see the relationship struggles, the health worries, the private doubts, the 3 in the morning moments of feeling completely lost that exist in every human life, including the ones that look perfect from the outside. And even beyond that, I need you to understand something fundamental about the way I work. I do not run a standardized program where everyone gets the same things at the same time on the same schedule. I run deeply individual, profoundly personal relationships with each of my children. Your path is unique to you. Your timeline is unique to you. Your season is unique to you. And comparing your path to someone else's is like comparing a peach tree to an oak tree and asking why the peach tree does not have acorns yet. They are completely different trees. They grow differently. They produce differently. They have completely different purposes. And both of them are exactly right, exactly as they are. I am taking extra time with you in this season because I am doing deeper work in you. The roots I am growing in you right now, in this dark, quiet, underground season, are going deeper than most people's roots ever go. And the reason I am going so deep is because I plan to grow you so high. Trees with shallow roots look fine in calm weather, but they fall in the first big storm. I am building you to last. I am building you to stand in conditions that would knock other things over. Do not resent the depth of your roots just because you cannot see them yet. Do not resent the dark soil just because it is not as visible or impressive as the branches of the tree next to you. The growth is happening, even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, even when everything looks completely still on the surface. I am doing extraordinary things underground. And when your season comes, when the green light finally arrives and everything begins to blossom, it will be so abundantly, so beautifully more than you expected, that you will not even remember the frustration of the waiting. You will look at your life, and you will look at the path that brought you here, and you will say, "Thank you. Thank you for every single delay. Thank you for every closed door. Thank you for the long, dark season underground. Because without it, I would never have become this." So today, practice something that requires real spiritual maturity. Practice celebrating others. When you see someone else win, choose to clap for them. Choose to genuinely rejoice in their breakthrough, even while you are still waiting for yours. This is not easy. It goes against every natural human instinct. But it is one of the most powerful things you can do for your own soul. Because a heart that can celebrate someone else's harvest while standing in an empty field has demonstrated a level of trust and security in me that says, "I am not afraid. I know my harvest is coming. I can afford to be generous with my joy." That kind of heart is a heart that is ready for everything I have prepared. So lift your eyes off the path beside you. Stop counting what someone else has and measuring it against what you do not. Look straight ahead at the finish line I drew specifically for you, with your name written on it, and nobody else in the world can cross it but you. Run your race. Your season is coming. Now, my dear child, I want to talk to you about rest. about sleep, about the sacred, important, non-negotiable truth that you are a human being with real limits, and those limits are not a flaw. They are not a weakness. They are not something to be ashamed of or to push against. They are a beautiful, intentional part of how I designed you. You are running on empty right now, and you know it. Your body is telling you. The headaches, the heaviness behind your eyes, the irritability that rises so quickly, the short temper that surprises even you, the way even small tasks feel overwhelming, the inability to think clearly or make good decisions. Your body is sending you every signal it has, begging you to slow down, and you are ignoring every single one of them. You have convinced yourself that rest is a luxury you cannot afford, that there is too much to do, that too many people are depending on you, that if you slow down, even for a moment, everything will fall apart. And somewhere underneath all of that busyness is a belief that your worth is tied to your productivity, that you are only valuable when you are producing, performing, achieving, doing, and so resting feels like failing. It feels like being lazy. It feels like you are letting everyone down. But my dear child, I created rest. I built it into the very fabric of creation. I worked for 6 days and then I rested, not because I was tired. I am God, I do not get tired. But because I was establishing a pattern, a rhythm, a design for living that would sustain my creation, including you. Rest is not the enemy of productivity. Rest is what makes real, sustainable productivity possible. When you refuse to rest, you are not being strong. You are being foolish. You are like a machine that refuses to be serviced, running and running without maintenance until something breaks, and breaks badly, and the repair takes far longer than the regular maintenance would have. I do not want you ending up in that place. I do not want burnout to be the thing that finally forces you to stop. I am asking you to stop now, willingly, before the breaking point. And I want to address something else. You are saying yes to everything and everyone because you are afraid. Afraid of what people will think if you say no. Afraid of being seen as unreliable or selfish. Afraid of missing out. Afraid of disappointing someone. And so you fill your calendar until there is no space left, until you have nothing left to give, until the people you actually love the most, the ones right in your own home, get the worst of you because all your best energy was spent on things and people who were not even your first priority. I am giving you permission today, clear, direct, specific permission to say no to some things, to some requests, to some opportunities, even good ones, even things that seem important. Because here is something I need you to understand. You cannot do everything. You were never meant to do everything. You are one person with a specific calling and specific relationships and specific responsibilities, and protecting the energy and time needed for those specific things sometimes requires saying a clear, loving, unapologetic no to everything else. The most important people in your life need your peaceful presence, not your frantic, exhausted, checked out, half their presence. Your actual peace, your actual attention, your actual heart, and you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot pour from an empty cup, so let me fill your cup. Let me restore what has been depleted. Come to me in the quiet, and let me give you the rest that your soul needs. I want you to understand something beautiful. When you go to sleep tonight, the world does not stop turning. I am upholding every star in its orbit and every atom in its place. Your children are in my care. Your problems are on my desk. Your tomorrow is already in my hands. You do not have to hold the universe together while you sleep. I am doing that. I have always been doing that. And I am very good at it. So close your eyes tonight without guilt. Rest without anxiety. Sleep without the nagging feeling that you should be doing something else. You are not neglecting your responsibilities when you rest. You are being a good steward of the body and mind and spirit I gave you. You are taking care of the instrument that I need to carry out my purposes through your life. Stop striving. Start abiding. A branch does not strain and struggle to produce fruit. It simply stays connected to the vine and lets the life flow through it naturally. Stay connected to me. Let my strength flow into you, and watch what I am able to produce through a rested, connected, peaceful you. My dear child, there is one more thing I must speak to you about today, and it is perhaps the most tender and most important of everything I have said. I want to talk to you about the habits and the choices you have been hiding, the things you do when no one is watching, the patterns that pull at you in the dark, the secret places in your life where you have been running away from me rather than toward me. You know exactly what I am talking about. You feel it every time. That hollow feeling afterward. That quiet but persistent sting of your own conscience. That strange mix of temporary relief and deep shame. And you keep telling yourself you will stop. You will change. You will do better. But then the stress rises, or the loneliness hits, or the boredom sets in, and you find yourself right back in the same place again. And the worst part is that you have started to believe that this is just who you are, that this is your weakness, your flaw, your permanent condition, that maybe you are too far gone, too set in your ways, too broken to ever truly be free. And so instead of coming to me with the honest mess of it, you stay away, you avoid me. You lower the volume on your spiritual life, because it is easier to not feel my presence than to stand in it with all of this still going on. But my dear child, I need you to hear this with every fiber of your being. I already know everything. Every single thing. There is nothing hidden from me, not one thought, not one moment, not one secret. I have seen it all, every last bit of it, and I am still here. I did not leave. I did not turn my face away. I did not cross my arms and wait for you to clean yourself up before I would speak to you again. I am right here. I am calling your name, and I am not holding a record of wrongs over your head. I am holding out my hands. I am saying, come exactly as you are. Bring me the mess. Bring me the failure. Bring me the habit you cannot break on your own. Bring me the shame you have been carrying alone. Bring me all of it, and let me do what only I can do with it. True change does not begin with trying harder. True change begins with complete honesty in my presence. Stop pretending. Stop managing the image. Stop keeping certain rooms locked and only letting me into the presentable parts of your life. Throw open every door. Let the light into every dark corner. Not because I am going to judge what I find there, but because darkness cannot survive in light. And the things that have been controlling you in the dark lose their power when they are brought into my presence and named out loud. Come home, my dear child. You have been in a far country, feeding yourself on things that were never meant to nourish you. Feeling further and further from who you truly are. Further from me, further from peace, further from freedom. And you have started to feel like you are too far gone to come back. Like the distance is too great, the mistakes too many, the shame too heavy. But look up, look down the road right now, because I am already running toward you. I have been watching for you every single day. I never stopped watching. I never gave up. I never decided the distance was too great or the waiting was too long. The moment you turn your face in my direction, I am already in motion, already coming to meet you, already preparing the celebration. You do not have to earn your way back. You do not have to have a perfectly rehearsed speech ready. You do not have to wait until you have cleaned up your act or gotten your life together. Come as you are. Come messy and ashamed and tired and broken. Come exactly like that, because that is exactly the person I gave everything for. That is exactly the person I love. That is exactly the child I have been waiting for. Today is the day, not tomorrow, not after one more failure, one more attempt to fix it yourself, one more week of trying harder. Today, right now, come home, my dear child. I want to take a moment to speak to you about something that perhaps you have never thought of as a spiritual matter. I want to talk about the interruptions in your day, the things that disrupt your schedule, the unexpected moments that derail your carefully laid plans. You had your day perfectly mapped out today, every minute accounted for. A clear, efficient, productive plan for how the hours were going to go. And then something happened. A flat tire, a child who got sick, a phone call that took far longer than it should have, a neighbor who stopped you with a problem you did not have time for, a friend who reached out at completely the wrong moment, and you felt the frustration rise in you, the internal impatience, the polite smile on your face that did not match the irritation in your heart, because your plan was disrupted, and you do not like disruptions. But my dear child, I want you to consider something today. What if those disruptions are not obstacles to my plan for your day? What if they are my plan for your day? I arrange divine appointments. I place specific people in your path at specific moments for reasons that are often invisible to you in the moment, but deeply significant in the larger story I am telling. The person who slowed you down today, the one who needed your time, your ear, your patience, your presence, was not an accident. They were not just in the wrong place at the wrong time, colliding with your schedule. They were placed directly in your path by me, because something in them needed something in you. You are sometimes so intensely focused on getting to your destination that you miss the entire ministry of the journey. You are rushing so hard toward the future that you cannot see the person who needs you right now, in the present, standing right in front of you. And the things you accomplish along the way, the unplanned conversations, the unexpected moments of kindness, the split-second decisions to stop and truly help someone, those are often the most important things you do. Not the big items on your agenda, the interruptions. Look at the way my son Jesus lived his life on earth. His ministry was built almost entirely on interruptions. He was on his way somewhere, and a blind man called out, and he stopped. He was teaching a crowd, and a woman touched the hem of his garment, and he stopped. He was surrounded by pressing crowds, and small children pushed through, and he stopped, picked them up, held them. His disciples were annoyed. They said he was too busy, too important. He said, no, these moments are the most important moments. Learn to live with an open hand where your schedule is concerned. Make your plans, yes. Be organized and intentional and purposeful with your time, yes. But hold those plans loosely. Be willing to set them down when I ask you to. Be radically interruptible. Because some of the most significant moments of your life are going to arrive disguised as inconveniences. And if you rush past them, you will miss them forever. I am measuring your day, not by how many tasks you completed, but by how you love the people I placed in front of you. That is the metric I care about. That is the score I am keeping. Friends, if you have been walking with us through this message today, and it has been speaking to your heart, I want to take just a moment to encourage you to share this video with someone who needs it. Think of one person in your life who is carrying a heavy load right now, who is worried or confused, or running on empty, or stuck in a season that makes no sense. Share this with them today. Be the answer to someone else's prayer by getting these words to them. Thank you for being part of this community. And please do subscribe if you have not already. Every video is created with prayer, time, and dedication to reach those who may be searching for encouragement and faith. By supporting this ministry through Ko-Fi or PayPal, you help keep this mission growing and touching more lives each day. God bless you abundantly. My dear child, I want to talk to you now about a very particular kind of person who might be listening today. The person who has been succeeding. The person for whom things are going really, really well right now. I want to speak to you too, because success has its own unique set of spiritual dangers, and I love you too much to let you walk into them without warning. Your business is thriving. Your finances are strong. People are impressed by what you have built. You are getting the recognition you worked for, and the doors of opportunity seem to be opening faster than ever. It feels wonderful. It feels like finally, like everything is coming together, like the hard seasons were worth it. And in this season of abundance, a very quiet, very subtle shift is beginning to happen in your heart. Not a dramatic rebellion, not a sudden rejection of your faith, just a quiet drift, a slow, almost imperceptible pulling away. Because when the bills are paid and the refrigerator is full and the future feels secure, the desperate, clinging kind of prayer that you prayed in the valley starts to feel less urgent. You still pray, but it is more routine now, less raw, less like a lifeline and more like a habit. And somewhere in the back of your mind, in a place you might not even fully acknowledge consciously, you have begun to believe that some significant portion of this success is because of you. Your intelligence, your work ethic, your strategic thinking, your ability to read the room and make good decisions. And yes, you are talented and hardworking, and I gave you those abilities on purpose. But I need you to stop and remember, truly remember, that every creative idea you had, I sparked it. Every favor that opened a door, I commanded it. Every moment of clarity when you needed it most, I gave it. Every good thing you are enjoying right now is because I decided to bless you with it. This is not meant to diminish your effort. Your effort matters and I honor it. But effort without my blessing is just effort. And I need you to keep a clear, accurate understanding of that, especially now when the success is real and visible, and it would be very easy to forget. I am asking you to pause in the middle of your success and do something deeply countercultural. I am asking you to evaluate your stewardship, not your finances, though that matters too. I am asking you to evaluate your heart. What have you done with the influence I have given you? How are you treating the people who have less power than you? Are you using your resources to build my kingdom, or primarily to expand your own comfort? Are you generous with what I have given you, or has security started to breed a quiet, private hoarding? The higher you climb in human terms, the more important it becomes to stay low in spiritual terms. Because the higher you go, the more damage a fall from pride can do. The more influence you have, the more dangerous it becomes to exercise it without humility and wisdom and genuine accountability to me. Stay soft, my dear child. Stay tender. Stay grateful. Let me wash your feet today, just as I washed my disciples' feet the night before everything changed. Let me remind you that greatness in my kingdom is not measured by how many people serve you. It is measured by how humbly and lovingly you serve others. Give me back the crown. Put your trophies at my feet, and let us build something with this success that will outlast you. That will still be changing lives long after you are gone. That will echo through eternity with a beauty and a significance that no earthly achievement could ever match. My dear child, we are drawing toward the end of our time together today. But before I speak the final words, I want to talk to you about one of the most urgent things I need you to hear. I want to talk about urgency, about the brevity of time, about the deep, quiet truth that this life, as real and as precious as it is temporary. It is a blink, it is a breath, and eternity is coming. You are living as if you have forever, as if there is always tomorrow, always next year, always another chance to get your priorities right, to reach out to the people you have been meaning to reach out to finally make your faith your first priority, rather than your last, to finally live with the passion and the intentionality and the love that you know deep inside is what you were actually made for. But time is moving. Every day that passes is a day you do not get back. And I am not saying this to fill you with anxiety or with the kind of panicked urgency that makes you run in 10 directions at once. I am saying it to help you see clearly, to help you value what is real, to help you put down the cheap plastic toys of temporary achievement and pick up the gold of eternal purpose. When you finally stand before me, at the end of your days on this earth, the conversation is not going to be about your bank account. It is not going to be about your job title or how many followers you had or whether your home was beautiful. The conversation is going to be about love. It is going to be about the people you helped, the broken you comforted, the truth you shared, the light you carried into dark places. It is going to be about whether you knew me, really knew me, not just knew about me, but walked with me, talked with me, loved me back in the daily, ordinary, imperfect, beautiful mess of real life. Use this season wisely. Pray for the people in your life who do not yet know me. Reach out to the ones who are hurting. Be a light in the specific, ordinary, unremarkable places where I have placed you, because those places need light too. And you are the one I put there. Trim your lamp. Fill it with oil. Stay ready. Stay watching. Stay soft and open and expectant, because I am coming and I want to find you faithful, not perfect, faithful, not finished, still trying, still running the race, still clinging to my hand, still loving people the way I loved you. That is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. My dear child, I want to speak to you now about something very personal and very tender. I want to talk about loneliness, because I know that for some of you listening today, the heaviest thing you carry is not a financial burden or a health struggle or a career challenge. The heaviest thing you carry is the quiet, persistent ache of feeling completely alone. You are surrounded by people. You have friends, maybe family, maybe colleagues who like you and respect you. And yet at the end of the day, when the noise settles and the house is quiet, there is this hollow feeling in your chest, a sense that no one truly knows you, no one truly sees the deepest parts of you, no one is fully, completely, unconditionally present with you. And that loneliness, my dear child, that loneliness is one of the sharpest pains a human heart can feel. Maybe you are in a relationship and you feel lonely inside it. Maybe you are single and you have been waiting for a long time for the companionship you deeply desire. Maybe your closest friendships have quietly faded with distance and busy seasons, and you look around and realize you do not have someone you can call at midnight when everything falls apart. Whatever your specific experience of loneliness looks like, I want to speak directly into it today. And the first thing I want to say is this: your loneliness is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is not a punishment. It is not evidence that you are unlovable or that you have been forgotten. Your loneliness is actually the echo of a deep, true design truth. You were made for connection. You were created for relationship. The ache you feel when you are isolated is the natural response of a heart that was built for love, pressing against the absence of it. It is not a flaw. It is a feature. But here is the second thing I want you to hear. In every single moment of your loneliness, in every quiet, hollow night, I have been there with you. Every moment that you felt completely alone, you were not alone. I was sitting beside you. I was aware of every tear, every sigh, every quiet prayer that barely made it past your lips, because you were not sure if anyone was listening. I was listening. I have always been listening. I know that my presence does not always feel like the kind of presence your heart is aching for. I know that sometimes the longing for human touch, for a voice, For someone who knows your name and wants to spend time with you, that longing is very real and very deep, and me telling you I am there does not always make it stop hurting. I understand that. I do not dismiss it. The longing is real. But I want to invite you into something today. In the middle of your loneliness, instead of running from the quiet, run into it, toward me. Bring your loneliness to me as honestly as you can. Tell me exactly how it feels. Tell me what you wish you had. Tell me about the kind of love you are longing for. Bring me the full, honest weight of it, and then sit with me in it. Not performing peace you do not feel. Just genuinely being with me in the honest reality of where you are. Because something happens in those honest, quiet moments of real intimacy with me. Not always immediately, not always dramatically, but slowly the hollow place begins to fill. Not because the loneliness disappears, but because my presence becomes more real to you than it has ever been before. The comfort I offer is real. The love I have for you is real. The closeness I am capable of is more profound than any human relationship could ever fully provide, because I know you completely and love you completely at the exact same time. No human being can do that. I can. And I do. I am also actively working on your behalf in the realm of human relationship. I have not overlooked your need for community, for friendship, for love. I am at work in ways you cannot see right now, arranging and preparing and moving pieces into place. Your prayer for connection is not falling into empty air. It is landing in my hands, and I am answering it in my perfect way in my perfect time. In the meantime, let me be enough for you today. Not enough in the sense that you should stop wanting or hoping for human connection, but enough in the sense that today, in this moment, you can breathe. You can be okay. You can feel loved and valued and known because you are. You are deeply, eternally, perfectly loved, and that love is real, and it is yours, right now, without waiting, without earning, without performing. Just yours. You are not alone, my dear child. You have never been alone, and you will never be alone. I am with you always, even to the very end of everything. My dear child, I want to talk to you now about the particular struggle of those who have been waiting for a promise. You heard something in your spirit a long time ago, a quiet, clear, certain impression that something specific was coming for you. A child, a healing, a calling, a restored relationship, a breakthrough in your finances, a complete turnaround in a situation that has looked hopeless for years. And you believed it. You held it close. You told people about it. You organized your hope around it, and then you waited and waited and waited some more. And now you are in a place that feels very strange. The promise still feels real inside you, but the evidence in your life tells a completely different story. The situation has not just stayed the same. In some cases it has gotten worse. The years have passed, and the thing you were waiting for has not come, and the gap between what I spoke and what you see is so wide now that it is starting to feel unbearable. People who do not understand are giving you advice. Some are gently suggesting that maybe you misheard me. Maybe it was not really a divine promise. Maybe it was just wishful thinking, and it is time to let go of it. And you do not know what to do with that, because letting go feels like unbelief. But holding on is exhausting. My dear child, let me speak very clearly to you about this. The time between a promise and its fulfillment is not empty time. It is not wasted time. It is not time where I have forgotten or changed my mind. It is the most important time. It is the time where the person who will receive the promise is being made ready to carry it. Because here is the truth that is easy to miss. If I gave you the promise the moment I spoke it, before the preparation period, before the building of character, and endurance and humility and deep trust, the promise itself might very well destroy you, not because the promise is bad, but because you would not yet be strong enough, or rooted enough, or secure enough in me to hold it, without it becoming an idol, without it pulling your eyes off me and onto itself. Think about a fruit tree. The fruit does not appear the moment the tree is planted. There is a whole season of underground root growth that has to happen first. A season that looks completely unproductive from the outside. Nothing visible is happening. The farmer who planted the tree might walk past it every day and see nothing. But underground, in the dark, in the quiet, the most essential work is being done. The roots are going deeper. The trunk is thickening. The entire structure that will one day hold the weight of abundant fruit is being built. And then, in the right season, the fruit comes. You are in the root growing season. It does not look like anything is happening. But I promise you, something extraordinary is happening underground. You are being made ready, and the promise is still alive. I do not speak and then take it back. I do not make promises carelessly. What I have said over your life, I will perform. I watch over my word to bring it to pass. But do not make the mistake of trying to help me out by manufacturing a shortcut version of the promise. Do not settle for an early, cheap, man-made version of what I promised, because the waiting has become too hard. When you force your own solution, because you are exhausted by the delay, you create complications and consequences that were not in my plan. You get a counterfeit when the real thing was just a little further down the road. Wait for the real thing. And while you wait, let me redirect your energy. Stop spending your days calculating timelines and watching for signs, and trying to figure out when and how the promise is going to come. Redirect that energy. Pour it into worship. Pour it into serving others. Pour it into growing in the areas of character where I am working right now. Pour it into being present in your actual life today, rather than living entirely in a future that has not arrived yet. Trust the process, my dear child. Trust the timing. Trust the one who made the promise. I have never broken a promise in all of eternity. I am not starting with yours. My dear child, there is something else I need to say, something that speaks to a very deep, often unspoken fear that many of my children carry quietly in their hearts. It is the fear that you have wasted your life, that you took too many wrong turns, that the years you spent going in the wrong direction, the season of rebellion, the time you lost to depression or addiction, or simply to aimlessness and confusion, that all of that time is gone forever, and now you are too far behind to ever catch up, that the best version of your life has passed, and what remains is just a lesser, diminished version of what could have been. I want to address that fear directly and completely right now. I am the God who redeems. Redemption is not just forgiveness. Redemption is the miraculous act of taking something that was broken, lost, wasted, or damaged and not just fixing it, but making it more beautiful and more purposeful than it ever would have been if the breaking had never happened. Redemption is not just recovery. It is transformation. The years that the locusts have eaten, I will restore. That is not a metaphor. That is a promise. I have the ability to do in a short season what should have taken a lifetime. I can accelerate, I can restore, I can redeem time itself in ways that human logic cannot explain. I have done it for people throughout all of history, and I can do it for you. But more than that, I need you to understand something about the path you actually walked, even the wrong turns. Nothing you have been through is wasted when it is placed in my hands. The pain of the wrong seasons, the wisdom earned in the hard years, the compassion that was born in you through your own suffering, these are not the evidence of a ruined life. These are the very things that make you exactly the right person to reach someone else who is walking the road you walked. Your story, including the messy parts, especially the messy parts, has a purpose that you cannot fully see yet. So stop grieving the years. Stop tallying up what you lost and calculating all the ways your life could have been different. Bring me what is left. Bring me today. Give me your right now, as imperfect and late, starting and complicated as it is, and watch what I do with it. I am the God of the second chance, and the third chance, and the 400th chance. I am the God who meets you wherever you are, and takes you exactly from there to exactly where I planned for you to be. It is not too late. It is not. You are not too old, too broken, too far behind, too damaged, too ordinary, or too anything. You are mine, and that is enough, more than enough. It is everything. And now, my dear child, before I close, I want to invite you to do something that will seal what you have heard today into your heart in a real and lasting way. Go to the comments right now and write these simple words. Lord, I stop my striving. I trust you completely. Write it down. Let it be a declaration. Let it be a covenant between you and me. Let it be the moment you look back on and remember as the day something shifted. The day you chose rest over striving, trust over control, surrender over fighting, peace over anxiety. You are not alone in this. Every person who writes those words in the comments becomes part of a community of people who have decided together to stop running and start trusting. Read their words. Be encouraged by them. Let their faith strengthen yours on the days when yours feels thin. And please, if this message has meant something to you today, if it has touched a part of your heart that needed touching, share it. Not just as a nice thing to do, but because somewhere in your life is a person who is on the verge of giving up, who is one more hard day away from losing hope completely. And these words might be exactly what they need to hear. You might be the reason they find their way through. This is the family of God, doing what families do, holding each other up, reminding each other of what is true, walking through the darkness together until the morning comes. A single act of kindness can help God's message reach someone who needs hope today. If you feel blessed by this channel, you can stand with us through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for helping us spread God's love one soul at a time. My dear child, I also want to speak to you today about something that affects your everyday, ordinary, Tuesday morning kind of life. I want to talk about your thoughts, because your thoughts are not just private mental background noise. Your thoughts are seeds. Every action you take was first a thought. Every habit began as a repeated thought. Every belief you hold about yourself and about me began as a thought you entertained long enough for it to take root. And right now, today, many of your thoughts are lying to you. The thought that says you are not enough. It has been playing in the background of your mind for so long that it feels like a fact. But it is a lie. You are enough. Not because of anything you have achieved, but because I made you and I do not make mistakes. The thought that says nothing is ever going to change. That lie has been stealing your hope one quiet day at a time, convincing you to stop believing and stop expecting anything good. But it is a lie. I am the God of change and transformation and resurrection. Nothing is too broken or too stuck for me. Change is possible. It is coming. Do not stop believing in it. The thought that says you are too tired to keep going. I hear the exhaustion underneath it, and I do not dismiss it. But the conclusion the thought draws that you should give up, that you cannot make it, that is a lie. You can make it. Not on your own strength, but on mine. And my strength is available to you right now, in whatever depleted condition you are in. My power is made perfect in weakness. Your weakness is not a disqualification. It is an invitation. Begin to pay attention to your thoughts, my dear child. Notice the ones that are pulling you down, draining your faith, whispering hopelessness and shame and fear. And when you notice them, bring them to me. Let me replace them slowly and gently and surely with what is actually true. What is true is that you are loved beyond measure, that your life has purpose, that every single day I am working on your behalf, that the plans I have for you are good and they have not been canceled, that the story of your life is not finished, that I am faithful and I am near, and I am for you in ways you are only beginning to understand. Let those truths become the loudest voice in your mind. Say them out loud. Write them down. Return to them when the lies get loud, because the lies do get loud, especially in hard seasons. But they are still lies, and the truth is still the truth regardless of how things feel in any given moment. Guard your mind. My dear child, it is one of the most precious and most fought over territories in the universe. What you fill it with shapes everything. Fill it with my word, with what is true and good and beautiful, and watch how it changes the way you experience every ordinary and extraordinary day of this one precious life I have given you. My dear child, I want to leave you with one final picture before we close. I want you to imagine a small child, maybe 3 or 4 years old, walking through a busy, crowded market with their parent. The market is noisy and overwhelming and full of movement in every direction. There are so many things to look at, so many distractions, so many directions to run, and the child's natural instinct is to let go of the parent's hand and run toward every shiny, interesting thing they see. And the parent lets them explore a little, because exploration is part of growing up. But the parent never takes their eyes off the child, not for 1 second. And whenever the child wanders too far, or the crowd gets too thick, or the child stumbles, the parent is already moving, already reaching, already there. And sometimes, the parent picks the child up entirely, not because the child did something wrong, not as a punishment, but because the path ahead is too complicated for small legs, because the parent can see a danger the child cannot see from that low angle. And in the parent's arms, the child sees the world from a completely different height. Things that were confusing and frightening from below look different from up here. That is you and me, my dear child. I am the parent. You are the beloved child. And this whole journey we have been on today, the stopping and the resting and the trusting and the surrendering, all of it is just me picking you up, lifting you to my level, letting you see things from where I see them, just for a moment, just enough to remind you that you are safe, that you are held, that you are seen, and that the path ahead, while you cannot see all of it from where you stand, is in the hands of someone who loves you more than life itself. You can let go now. You can stop gripping so tightly. You are held, and the one who holds you will never, ever let you fall. My dear child, here you are again. You came back. And I want you to know that the fact that you are here right now, sitting with me, choosing to listen again, that means more to me than you realize. Because many people hear something good once and walk away satisfied, thinking they have received enough to last them a while. But you came back, and that tells me something beautiful about your heart. It tells me you are hungry. It tells me you are still reaching. It tells me the journey between you and me is not finished. And honestly, it never will be, because I always have more for you. I am an endless ocean and you have only just touched the shoreline. So settle in, my dear child. Open your heart wide. What I have for you today is different from what I said before. These are new rooms in the same house, new corridors of truth that I want to walk through with you, new places where I want to meet you, heal you, challenge you, and set you free. Every single word today is specifically for you. Not for the person sitting next to you. Not for someone you know who needs this more than you do. For you. So do not listen with one ear pointed at yourself and one ear pointed at someone else. Receive this fully, personally, completely, as a private conversation between your father and the child he adores. Take a slow breath, and let us begin this new journey together. My dear child, the first thing I want to speak to you about today is something that many people never talk about openly, even in church, even in prayer groups, even in the most honest conversations between close friends. I want to talk about the wounds that other people gave you, not the wounds you gave yourself through your own choices. We spoke about those before. I want to talk about the wounds that were inflicted on you by someone else. Someone who should have protected you but hurt you instead. Someone who should have stayed but left. Someone who looked you in the eyes and chose themselves over you. Someone who used your trust like a weapon against you. I am talking about the betrayal that changed the way you see people. The abandonment that taught your heart it was safer to stay closed. The cruelty of someone who was supposed to love you. The parent who was not there in the ways a parent should be. The friend who vanished exactly when you needed them most. The partner who broke their promise. The leader who abused their authority. The person you gave everything to, who gave you nothing back. These wounds are real. I want you to hear me say that very clearly. Because sometimes, well-meaning people minimize your pain by rushing too quickly to the part where you are supposed to forgive and move on. And forgiveness is important. We will get there. But before we get there, I want to sit with you in the reality of what happened to you. I want to acknowledge it. It was real. It hurt. It changed you. And it was not okay. Even if the person who did it was going through something hard themselves. Even if they did not fully understand the impact. Even if they were also wounded people doing wounded things. The harm they caused was real, and I see it completely. I was there when it happened. I saw every moment of it. And I want you to know that my heart was with you in that pain. I was not standing at a distance observing impassively. I was with you. I felt every wound alongside you. And I am with you now, in the long, slow aftermath of it, in the quiet ways that old pain still shapes your present life, in the walls you built to protect yourself, in the way you flinch at certain tones of voice, in the way you brace yourself for people to let you down before they even have the chance, in the way you have decided, somewhere underneath everything, that you are the kind of person that people eventually leave. All of that came from the wounds. And today I want to begin, gently and carefully, and at whatever pace you need, to do something with those wounds that only I can do. Not just cover them up. Not just numb the pain. Not just help you manage the damage. I want to actually heal them. From the inside out. All the way down to the root. Real healing that changes the scar tissue into something strong rather than something brittle. But here is the thing about that kind of healing, my dear child. It requires one thing that feels completely impossible from where you are standing right now. It requires forgiveness. Not because the person who hurt you deserves it. Not because what they did was acceptable, or should be minimized or forgotten. Not because they have apologized or changed or made things right. Forgiveness is required not for their sake. It is required for yours. Let me explain what forgiveness is not, because I think you have been carrying a misunderstanding about it that has made it feel impossible. Forgiveness is not saying that what happened was fine. It was not fine, and saying the words of forgiveness does not change that. Forgiveness is not pretending you are not still hurting. You can be in deep pain and still choose to forgive. Forgiveness is not restoring trust. Trust is rebuilt slowly over time through consistent actions, and some people will never earn your trust back, and that is a separate issue entirely from forgiveness. Forgiveness is not excusing the behavior or letting the person off the hook in some cosmic sense. My justice is real, and I will deal with what was done to you in my own perfect way. So what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the decision to release your grip on the debt. It is putting down the case you have been building and carrying, the mental file folder full of evidence and righteous grievances that you have been reviewing every time the anger rises. It is saying, not to the person who hurt you, but to yourself and to me, that you are no longer going to let this wound be the thing that runs your life, that you are choosing, as an act of your will, even when every emotion in you screams against it, to hand the weight of this injustice over to me and trust me to carry it. Because here is what happens when you hold on to unforgiveness. It does not punish the person who hurt you. They are often completely unaware of the detailed internal trial. You have been running against them in your mind for years. They have moved on. They may have even forgotten it ever happened. But you are still there, still bound to that moment, still carrying the weight of what they did, still letting a person who is no longer, even in your life, control your emotions, your decisions, your ability to trust, your capacity for joy. Unforgiveness is a prison, and the painful irony is that you are holding the key. The person who hurt you put you in that cell, but you are the one choosing to stay in it. And I am standing at the door, right now, asking you to let me open it. Not because you have to feel like forgiving them. Not because you have processed all the emotions perfectly and arrived at a place of warm feelings toward them. But simply because you are willing to say, I choose to let this go. I choose to stop letting their choices define my life. I choose freedom over the cold comfort of my anger. This is not a one-time moment for most wounds. For deep wounds, forgiveness is a daily practice. You choose it today, and tomorrow the anger might rise again, and you choose it again. And the next week the grief surfaces again, and you choose it again. Each time you choose it, the weight gets a little lighter. The grip of the wound on your life loosens a little more. And eventually, not immediately, not quickly, but eventually, you will find that when you think about what happened, there is sorrow there but not poison. There is memory but not bondage. There is acknowledgement but not ownership. That is healing, and it is available to you. Starting today. Starting right now. You do not have to feel it to choose it. Just choose it. Tell me out loud right now, whatever name comes to mind, whatever face appears in your heart as you read these words. Say, God, I choose to forgive this person. I am putting down the case. I am handing this injustice to you. And I am choosing my own freedom. That one act, imperfect and trembling as it may be, is the beginning of something that will change your entire life. My dear child, now I want to talk to you about fear. Not the everyday anxious worry we discussed before. I want to talk about the deep, foundational fears that have been with you for so long that you have stopped recognizing them as fears. They have become just the water you swim in, the invisible atmosphere of your life. The fear that has become so familiar it feels like reality. The fear of being truly known. This is one of the most common and most quietly devastating fears a human heart can carry. You are terrified that if someone actually saw all of you, every weakness, every failure, every embarrassing corner of your inner life, they would leave. So you perform. You manage the image. You carefully control what people see and what they do not see. You are friendly but not vulnerable, open but not transparent, warm but guarded. And you live with this persistent, exhausting loneliness that comes from being surrounded by people who know you, but never truly know you. My dear child, being fully known and fully loved at the same time is not as impossible as your fear has told you it is. I know you completely. Every hidden corner, every shadow, everything you would die before letting anyone see. I know all of it, and I love you completely, right now, exactly as you are. Not despite what I know, because of what I know, because I see the whole picture, including the beauty and the strength and the tenderness that you yourself cannot fully see. And what I see makes me love you more, not less. And here is what I want you to understand about human relationships too. The people who are truly worth your vulnerability, the ones who are safe, the ones who have the maturity and the love to hold your honesty carefully, those people exist. You may not have found them yet, but they exist. And when you take a careful, courageous step toward genuine openness with a trustworthy person, something extraordinary happens. Instead of driving them away, your honesty creates connection. Real, deep, lasting connection. Because the moment you stop performing and start being real, the other person feels permission to do the same. And suddenly, you are no longer two people managing impressions at each other. You are two real people meeting in the beautiful, messy, sacred space of truth. Stop hiding, my dear child. Not all at once, not recklessly, but begin, in small, courageous steps, to let yourself be known. The love that waits for you on the other side of that courage is worth every moment of the fear. The second deep fear I want to address is the fear of failure. This fear is driving so many of your decisions in ways you may not even fully see. It is the reason you talk yourself out of trying the new thing. The reason you stay in situations that are not good for you, but at least they are familiar. The reason you work yourself to exhaustion, because if you slow down for even a moment, the voice in your head says you are falling behind. You are not enough. You are going to fail and everyone is going to see it. Failure has become a monster in your imagination. You have given it so much power that the mere possibility of it is enough to keep you small and safe and stuck. But my dear child, I want to tell you something about failure that changes everything. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the path to success. Every person who has ever done anything meaningful has failed, often spectacularly, often publicly, often more than once. The difference between the people who eventually succeed and the people who never try is not talent. It is the willingness to fail and get back up. I am not afraid of your failures. I am not sitting in heaven wincing every time you make a mistake or try something that does not work out. I am the God who redeems, remember. I take failures and I turn them into the very material from which breakthroughs are built. Your setbacks are not dead ends. They are education. They are character development. They are the training ground for the wisdom you are going to need when the bigger doors open. So try the thing you have been too afraid to try. Take the step you have been postponing, because you cannot guarantee the outcome. Yes, you might fail. And if you do, I will be right there. I will help you get up, dust off the debris, learn what needs to be learned, and try again. I will never mock your effort. I will never abandon you in the middle of a setback. I will never look at a sincere, courageous attempt that did not work out and call you a failure. I see courage, and I reward it. The third deep fear is the one that lives at the very bottom of all the others. It is the fear that in the end, none of this is real. The fear that your faith is just a story you have been telling yourself to get through the hard days. The fear that maybe you are praying to an empty sky. Maybe the love you feel from me is just the warmth of your own hope reflected back at you. Maybe I am not actually there. My dear child, I want to speak directly into that fear with all the gentleness and all the firmness I have. It is okay that this fear exists. Doubt is not the absence of faith. Doubt is often the evidence of a faith that is real enough and honest enough to wrestle with hard questions, rather than accepting easy answers. The people who never doubt are often the people who have never truly engaged. Your doubt tells me you are engaging. You are taking this seriously. You are not just going through religious motions. You are actually reaching for something real. And I am real. I am here. The stillness you feel when you finally stop long enough to be quiet, that is me. The unexplainable peace that settles over you in the middle of impossible circumstances. That is me. The moment of clarity that came from nowhere. The idea that solved the problem. The strength that arrived when you had nothing left. The kindness of a stranger at exactly the right moment. The verse that seemed to leap off the page and answer the exact question you had just been crying about. That is me. I speak in 1,000 different languages. And I have been speaking to you in all of them, every day your whole life. You are not talking to an empty sky. You are talking to your Father. And I am listening to every word. If these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of God's love, please consider supporting this ministry through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Together, we can continue sharing hope and God's Word with countless souls around the world. If this message is meeting you in a deep place today, I want to ask you to take just a moment right now and subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. There are people in your life who are carrying the exact fears and wounds we are talking about right now, and they need to hear these words. By subscribing and sharing, you become the bridge that gets this message to them. Thank you for being part of this family. Now let us keep going. My dear child, I want to talk to you now about something that is quietly stealing the richness from your everyday life. I want to talk about gratitude. Not gratitude as a religious exercise or a feel-good practice you have heard about 100 times. I want to talk about gratitude as a lens, as a way of seeing that is available to you right now, in the exact circumstances you are currently in, and that has the power to completely transform your experience of your own life without changing a single external thing. You wake up in the morning and your first instinct is to reach for your phone, and within 30 seconds, you have already seen something that makes you feel behind, inadequate, or anxious. The news is bad. Someone else announced something wonderful. Your inbox has 3 problems waiting before you have even had a cup of tea. And just like that, the tone for the whole day is set. Deficit, lack, problem. What is wrong? What is missing? What is threatening? What is not enough? This is the lens through which most of the world sees their lives. And I understand why. Because the world is full of real problems and real pain and real things to be concerned about. I am not asking you to deny any of that, but I want to offer you a different first move in the morning. Before the phone, before the news, before the inbox. One moment of genuine eyes open, specific gratitude. Not thank you for everything, in a vague, automated kind of way. Specific. What is actually good in your life right now? What do you actually have? Look around you with fresh eyes, as if you are seeing your life for the first time. The breath in your lungs right now. You did nothing to earn it, it is a gift. The body that carried you through yesterday, even if it is imperfect, even if it has limitations, it brought you to today. The people in your life who love you, even imperfectly, the ones who would miss you if you were gone. The roof. The food. The fact that this morning happened at all, because it did not have to. I gave it to you. When you begin a day with genuine gratitude, something shifts in your brain and in your spirit. It is not magic, and it is not blind positivity. It is a deliberate act of seeing clearly. Because the truth is, even in the hardest seasons of your life, there are things that are real and good and present. And when you train yourself to find them, and name them, and receive them as gifts, you begin to experience your life differently. Not because the circumstances changed, but because you changed. Because you are now looking at your life through a lens that is calibrated to see abundance, rather than only deficit. And beyond the personal benefit, gratitude is a form of trust. When you thank me for what is here, you are essentially saying, God, I believe you are good. I believe you are present. I believe you are providing for me, and that act of faith, offered in the middle of difficult circumstances, is incredibly powerful. It moves things. It shifts atmospheres. It opens doors that complaints keep locked. Think about the difference between a child who approaches their parent with constant demands and complaints. Nothing is ever enough. You never do enough. I need more. I am not happy. And a child who approaches their parent with genuine warmth and thankfulness. I see what you did for me and I am grateful. Thank you. Which child are you going to delight in giving more to? Not because the first child is unloved, but because the second child has the posture and the capacity to receive more. Become that second child, my dear child. Come to me with a grateful heart. Not just when things are going well, especially when things are hard. Find the gifts even in the difficult seasons, the growth that is happening, the character that is being built, the dependency on me that is deepening, the compassion for others that is being born from your own pain. These are real gifts, even though they come in hard packaging. Gratitude is the language of a soul that is at peace with my sovereignty, and when you speak it consistently, it will change your relationship with your own life in ways that nothing else can. My dear child, now I want to speak into one of the most practically difficult areas of life, and one that causes enormous pain and confusion for so many of my children. I want to talk about the people in your life who are difficult, the ones who drain you, the ones who hurt you regularly, the ones you cannot seem to get away from because they are family, or coworkers, or neighbors, or people whose lives are deeply intertwined with yours. I want to talk about the relationship that is costing you more than it is giving, the friendship that has become a one-way street where you are always the one giving, always the one listening, always the one adjusting, always the one making the effort. The family member whose words cut you every single time, even after you have talked to them about it. The person whose presence in your life makes you feel smaller, less, not enough. These relationships are genuinely hard, and I do not want to oversimplify them. People are complex. Relationships are complex. And sometimes the most loving thing is not a dramatic exit, but a long, patient, prayerful process of navigating a difficult connection with wisdom and healthy boundaries. So let me offer you some real, practical truth for this today. First, you are allowed to have boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are not rejection. They are not unchristian. Boundaries are the honest, loving communication of what you need in order to be in a relationship in a healthy way. A boundary is not, I am punishing you by keeping you away from me. A boundary is, I care about this relationship enough to tell you what it needs to survive and be good. Healthy boundaries actually make relationships more sustainable, not less. They prevent the slow, quiet resentment that builds when you keep giving without limit and never say what you need. You can love someone and still say, I cannot accept this behavior. You can care about someone deeply and still say, that conversation was not okay, and I need it to be different. You can want good things for a person and still say, I need some space right now. These are not contradictions. They are the components of a grown-up, honest, sustainable love. Second, some relationships need to change, and some relationships have a season. Not every relationship is meant to last forever in its current form. Some people come into your life for a specific period, for a specific purpose. And when that season is complete, there is a natural and appropriate loosening. This does not mean you failed. It does not mean you are bad at relationships. It means you are human, and relationships are living things that grow and change and sometimes end. And that is a part of life. If there is a relationship in your life right now that is consistently toxic, meaning it is not just occasionally difficult, it is systematically harmful. and the other person has shown no genuine willingness to change, then I want to give you permission today to grieve it and release it. Not with bitterness. Not with the story that you are a victim and they are a villain, because that story will keep you bound to them even after they are gone. But with grief for what it was not and what it could not be, and with a genuine release that says, I am choosing to walk away from what is harming me, and I am trusting God with what I cannot fix. Third, the people who are most difficult in your life are often the people who need the most prayer. Not prayer in the sense of, God, please change them so they stop irritating me, though I understand that prayer too, but genuine intercession. Sitting with someone's name in your heart before me and asking me to move in their life, to heal what is broken in them, to bring the light into their dark places. Because very often the people who hurt others the most are the people who are carrying the heaviest, most unprocessed pain themselves. Hurt people hurt people. And the most powerful thing you can do for a difficult person is pray for them sincerely, without an agenda, without expecting it to immediately change the relationship. And fourth, in every single difficult relationship, look for what I am trying to teach you through it. Not because you deserve to be treated badly, because you do not, but because I am always working. Even in the friction and the pain of a hard relationship, I am forming something in you. Patience, compassion, wisdom about people, the ability to love without requiring anything in return. These are hard lessons, and they often come through hard teachers, but they are making you into someone who can carry the weight of the calling I have placed on your life. My dear child, I need to talk to you today about something that might be the most countercultural thing I say in this entire message. I want to talk about humility, not the false, self-deprecating kind that says, "Oh, I am terrible, I am nothing, I am less than everyone," while secretly nursing a sense of superiority. That is not humility, that is performance. I want to talk about genuine, deep, settled, unshakable humility. The kind that does not need to prove itself because it is at peace with itself. You live in a world that is absolutely obsessed with status, with being seen, with being recognized, with having your accomplishments acknowledged and your name known. Social media has turned the human instinct for validation into a constant, real-time performance where you are always, every day, measuring yourself against others, measuring your worth by the response you get, measuring your significance by the numbers. And somewhere in this cultural atmosphere of constant self-promotion and personal branding and curating your best self for public consumption, you have lost touch with something ancient and essential. You have lost touch with the freedom of not needing to be seen, the freedom of doing good things quietly, with no audience, with no credit, with no record kept, the freedom of being genuinely okay with being small in the eyes of the world, because you know that you are seen and valued and significant in the eyes of the only one who ultimately matters. I want to invite you back into that freedom today, because here is what I know about pride, and it is important. Pride is a cage. It looks from the outside like confidence and strength, but from the inside it is exhausting servitude to an audience that is never quite satisfied. When your sense of worth is built on being seen and appreciated and applauded, you become a slave to the opinions of others. Every slight is a wound. Every criticism is a crisis. Every time someone else succeeds and gets the attention you wanted, it stings. Every time you are overlooked, every time your contribution goes unnoticed, every time the credit goes to someone else, something in you shrivels. This is not freedom. This is a prison. And it is a prison of your own making. Because you handed the key to your sense of worth to other people, and other people are unreliable key holders. They are distracted. They are forgetful. They have their own needs and their own insecurities. and they are simply not capable of giving you the consistent validation that your heart needs. Only I can give you that, and I give it freely, completely, without condition, without interruption, without ever getting distracted or forgetting you, or giving the key to someone else. True humility is not thinking less of yourself. True humility is thinking of yourself less. It is the quiet, stable inner confidence of a person who knows exactly who they are and whose they are, and therefore does not need constant external confirmation. It is the person who can celebrate someone else's success without feeling threatened, who can receive correction without falling apart, who can do something beautiful and kind and never mention it to anyone, and feel completely at peace with that invisibility because they know that I saw it, and that is enough. Practice invisibility today. Do something generous for someone without telling anyone about it. Serve without the expectation of recognition. Let someone else take the credit for something and choose to be genuinely okay with it. These small acts of deliberate humility are more spiritually significant than you can imagine. They break the power of pride in your life one quiet choice at a time. I exalt the humble, not the noisy, self-promoting, look what I did person. The quiet, steady, faithful one who just keeps doing good without needing a spotlight. That is the person I love to lift up. That is the person I delight in surprising with abundance and favor when they least expect it. Be that person. It is a better life than the one the world is offering you. My dear child, let me speak now to a very specific group of people who I know are listening today. I want to speak to the people who are in the middle of a storm that did not come from their own choices. You did not cause this. You did not bring this on yourself through rebellion or foolishness or negligence. You were simply living your life as faithfully as you knew how, and then the storm hit, unexpectedly, violently, and it has been shaking everything. Maybe it is a sickness in your body or the body of someone you love deeply, and you are sitting in that strange, surreal space between diagnosis and answer, where hope and fear live in the same room, and you cannot fully breathe because you do not know what comes next. Maybe it is a financial collapse, something that came out of nowhere, a job suddenly gone, a business that fell apart, a betrayal that took everything you worked for, and now you are looking at circumstances that terrify you and wondering how you are going to survive what is in front of you. Maybe it is a family crisis, a child who is breaking your heart, a marriage that is in real, serious, dangerous trouble, a relationship with someone you love that has fractured in a way that feels like it might not be fixable, and you are walking around carrying this enormous invisible weight, and most of the people in your life do not even know the full extent of what you are holding. Whatever your storm looks like, my dear child, I want to say the thing that I most need you to hear right now, and I need you to receive it in the full depth of what it means. You are not alone in this storm. I am in the boat with you, not watching from the shore, not observing from a safe distance, in the boat, in the middle of the water, in the same storm, with you. I know sometimes it feels like I am asleep while the waves are crashing. My disciples felt that way too. The water was coming over the sides of the boat, and they looked back and found me asleep on a cushion, and they were terrified and furious. How could I sleep while they were drowning? How could I be at peace while everything was falling apart? But here is what my peace in that boat was communicating, even though they could not hear it in their panic. The storm is not bigger than the one sleeping in the boat. The circumstances are not more powerful than the one who is resting through them. My peace was not evidence of my absence or my indifference. My peace was evidence of my authority. I was not afraid of the storm because I knew what I was going to do with it. I am in your boat right now, and I am not afraid of your storm Not because I do not see how serious it is. I see exactly how serious it is. I see every detail. I see the full weight of what you are carrying. But I am not afraid because I am the God who commands storms, who speaks to wind and water, and they obey, who takes what looks like destruction and turns it into testimony, who specializes in impossibilities and makes them look effortless. You are going to come through this. I need you to hear that. Not because I am promising that everything will end exactly the way you want it to, because I know that is what your heart is hoping for, and I want to be honest with you. But I am promising you that I will carry you through whatever the end of this looks like. I will not waste your suffering. I will not let the storm destroy you. I will use every single hard wave and every terrifying gust of wind for something that will matter, something eternal, something that will bring you to a place of deeper strength and deeper faith and deeper beauty than you could have arrived at any other way. Hold on, my dear child, not to your plans for how this ends. Hold on to me, just me. That is all you need in a storm. One hand holding mine, that is enough. It is more than enough. And when this passes, and it will pass, you will look back and see that I was faithful through every moment of it. Not one moment missed. Not one wave I was not right there beside you in. Hold on, I have got you. I am not letting go. My dear child, I want to speak now about your calling, your purpose. The reason you were put on this earth at this specific time, in this specific place, with this specific collection of gifts and wounds and experiences and personality. I know many of you are confused about this. You hear people talk about their calling with such confidence and clarity, this burning sense of direction, this absolute knowing of what they are supposed to do with their life. And you wonder why you do not feel that, why your path seems blurry, why when you try to answer the question, what am I supposed to do with my life? You come up mostly empty. I want to address two different groups of people here. The first group is the people who have no idea what their calling is and feel anxious and lost about it. The second group is the people who feel like they know what their calling is, but circumstances are preventing them from living it out, and they are frustrated and impatient. To the first group, my dear child, I want to tell you something that will take a great deal of pressure off your shoulders. You do not need to figure out your entire calling before you take the next step. Your calling is not a destination that you arrive at one day and then you have it figured out forever. Your calling is a direction. It is revealed step by step, one faithful act at a time, as you walk closely with me and remain genuinely available to wherever I am moving. The people who are most clear about their purpose are not the ones who figured it out all at once, in a single dramatic moment of revelation, though that does happen sometimes. They are the ones who said yes to what was in front of them, faithfully and consistently, over a long period of time, who served well in small places, who developed their gifts without waiting for the perfect platform to use them, who were genuinely helpful to the people right next to them without needing to know what the bigger picture was. Look at what you have. What gifts do you carry that feel so natural to you that you almost do not count them as gifts? What breaks your heart? What injustice or pain in the world makes you feel something deep and urgent in your chest? What kind of people do you feel most drawn to serve? What topics make you come alive when you talk about them? These things are clues. They are not the full map, but they are the first few steps, and the next few steps will become clear when you walk the first ones. Start where you are, with what you have. Serve the people in front of you. Develop the gifts you already carry. Stay close to me and stay available. The calling will unfold, I promise. To the second group, the ones who feel called but stuck, I want to speak this truth gently. Sometimes what you call the season before your calling, is actually your calling, if you can receive it that way. The obscure, quiet, behind the scenes season is not a waiting room outside the real work. It often is the real work. It is where your character is being aligned with your capacity. It is where the depth of your roots catches up to the height of your branches. It is where you are learning things that cannot be taught any other way. The frustration you feel in this season is understandable and real, but do not let it push you into forcing your way into readiness before it comes. Prepare well, grow deep, stay humble, and when the door opens, and it will open, you will walk through it with a solidity and a maturity that the shortcut would never have given you. The waiting is not wasted. The quiet season is sacred. Trust the process. My dear child, we are moving toward the close of this second part of our conversation. But before I bring us to the final words, I want to speak about one more thing that I know is on the heart of many who are listening. I want to talk about hope. Specifically, the hope that has been worn thin. The hope that has been disappointed so many times that it has quietly started to curl up at the edges and retreat inside itself. You used to hope with such open-handed, wide-eyed abandon. You used to believe that things could change, that miracles were possible, that the good you were longing for was actually going to come. But then the prayers did not get the answers you expected. The situation did not change. The person did not come back. The door did not open. The healing did not happen, and you adjusted, quietly over time, without even realizing it. You turned down the volume on your hope. You started to protect yourself from the pain of disappointment by not wanting things too much, by keeping your expectations low, by telling yourself that hope is for people who have not been hurt enough yet. And now hope feels dangerous. It feels foolish. It feels like an invitation to be hurt again. And so you live in this gray, cautious, carefully managed existence where you are not miserable exactly, but you are not really alive either. You are just getting through the days, surviving, managing, enduring. My dear child, I want to give you back your hope today. Not a naive, magical, thinking kind of hope that ignores reality, but the anchor kind of hope. The kind that goes deep into something so solid and so unshakable that even when the waves of disappointment crash over you, the anchor holds. Even when prayers seem unanswered, even when the timing is not what you wanted, even when the thing you hoped for did not come in the form you expected, the anchor holds. The foundation of this hope is not a particular outcome. It is me. It is my character. It is the absolute, unbreakable certainty that I am good, that I am faithful, that I am for you, and that I do not waste anything. This hope is not conditional on your circumstances going well. It is rooted in something that your circumstances cannot touch. I am asking you to hope again. Carefully, if you need to. Slowly, if that is all you can manage right now. But begin to open the door again. Begin to let the light of expectation back into the room of your heart. Not because you have any guarantee of a specific outcome, but because you know me. And knowing me is reason enough. Hope in me is never misplaced. It never ends in ultimate shame. Because even when the specific thing you hoped for did not come, I am still here, I am still good, I am still working, and the story is not over. The best chapters of your life are still ahead. I have things planned for you that you cannot currently see or imagine, and they are good. Genuinely, deeply, specifically good. Open your hands again. Let hope back in. Not recklessly, but truly, I am worth hoping in, and you are worth hoping for, my dear child. One final thought before I close this second part of our conversation, and it is perhaps the simplest and most important thing I can say. In the middle of all the complexity of life, in the middle of the wounds and the fears and the difficult relationships and the storms and the confusion about calling and the worn, thin hope, There is one thing that makes everything else possible. One thing that is the source and the sustenance of everything good in your life. That one thing is staying close to me. Not performing, not achieving, not getting everything right, not having the perfect prayer life or the perfectly organized spiritual disciplines. Just staying close. Staying in conversation with me throughout the ordinary moments of your day. Talking to me in your car. Sitting quietly with me for 10 minutes before the chaos of the morning begins. Coming back to me when you drift, without shame, without elaborate re-entry procedures, just coming back. Like a child who runs off to play and then comes back to check in with their parent and then runs off again. The running off is fine. The coming back is what matters. Your relationship with me does not have to be complicated. I made you to know me. I am not difficult to find. I am not hiding. I am not requiring an elaborate set of conditions before I will make myself available to you. I am right here, right now, in this moment, completely present, completely attentive, completely available to you. All you have to do is turn toward me, and when you stay close, something remarkable happens to everything else in your life. The fears become smaller because you have a constant reminder that something bigger is in charge. The wounds heal more steadily because you have access every day to the one who heals. The difficult relationships become more navigable because you have wisdom and patience flowing in constantly from the one who is infinitely wise and patient. The storms are more survivable because you are never in the boat alone. The calling becomes clearer because you are in daily conversation with the one who placed it in you. The hope stays alive because you are regularly in the presence of the one who is the source of all hope. Stay close to me, my dear child. That is the whole invitation. Everything else grows from that one choice, made daily, made imperfectly, made again and again throughout the ordinary, beautiful, complicated, precious days of your one irreplaceable life. My dear child, we have walked a long, beautiful, honest road together today. We have talked about letting go of your past, about releasing your worry and anxiety, about trusting me through the painful pauses and the confusing seasons of delay. We have talked about closed doors and deep foundations, and the need to stop and truly see. We have talked about rest and surrender and coming home, no matter how far you have wandered. We have talked about comparison and urgency, and the deep, quiet beauty of a life built not on striving but on trusting. And now I want to close with this. Everything I have said to you today, every word, every gentle correction, every promise, every invitation, it all comes from one place and one place only. It comes from love. A love so vast and so deep, and so ancient and so personal, and so specific to you that your human mind cannot fully hold it. A love that existed before you were born. A love that chose you before you ever had the chance to choose me. A love that pursued you through your worst seasons, your most rebellious moments, your deepest shame and your longest doubts. A love that never gave up, that never ran out, that never cooled or faded or changed. If these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of God's love, please consider supporting this ministry through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Together, we can continue sharing hope and God's word with countless souls around the world. I love you, my dear child. Not the polished, presentable version of you. Not the you who has it all together. I love the real you. The complicated, struggling, hoping, doubting, trying, falling, getting back up, beautiful real you. That is the person I died for. That is the person I am building something extraordinary through. That is the person I am so deeply proud of, even on the days when you cannot be proud of yourself. So go forward today with this in your heart. You are loved. You are seen. You are held. You are not forgotten. And every single thing you are walking through right now, every confusion, every delay, every closed door, every season of waiting, every unexpected interruption, every moment of exhaustion, and every quiet whisper of doubt. All of it is in my hands, and all of it is working together for something good, something real, something eternal, something beautiful beyond what you can currently imagine. Stop striving, rest in me, and watch what I do. I love you always. Without end, stay close. I am right here, I always will be. And I love you, more than you know, more than you can imagine, more than words in any language can fully carry. You are mine, and I am yours. And that is everything. Come back tomorrow. Come back every day. I will always be here, and I will always have more to say to the one I love this much. Amen.